This whole talk about age makes me uncomfortable. I think it's the wrong road to go down. She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
Yeah, he said it out loud on TV. That was CNN host Don Lemon saying Nikki Haley, who recently announced a run for president, is past her prime, particularly in response to her saying that politicians over the age of 75 should have competency tests. Joining us to discuss, Newsmax contributor Karoline Leavitt and deputy managing editor of Red State, Kira Davis. Kira is shaking her head. Old Nikki Haley, 51 years old. Past her prime. Don Lemon might be past his prime or his morning show at this point. Your thoughts, Kira?
I cannot even, y'all.
I am with you. My jaw was on the floor.
I know. Is this man serious? Nikki Haley is past her prime. By the way, we have a man in the White House who can't even work his way off stage. He is so old. But Don Lemon, this is very typical of Don Lemon. He is completely narcissistic. He doesn't think ahead. I don't think he thinks much at all. I think he thinks of himself more as an entertainer than a real newsman, and I don't find him entertaining at all. But he deserves to be lambasted for this comment. How gross, disgusting, and misogynistic. He is everything that he accuses the right of being. And frankly, I think a comment like that should cost him his job.
Interesting. A lot of people, I think, are thinking it might because it was so extreme. Karoline, to me, this goes beyond politics. This just goes to completely insulting. Don was sitting there with his two female co-hosts, one of whom I guess you would determine is in her prime. The other clearly said, well, I'm then over that. Karoline, I know you are in Don Lemon's definition of prime, your prime. What do you think this says about his respect for women overall?
Yeah, Don Lemon's co-hosts were clearly struck by what he said. They were offended by it. As a woman in his self-proclaimed prime, I'm offended by it. But this is not the first time that Don Lemon has made offensive comments against women or racial offensive comments either. Frankly, he's a pathetic excuse for a man. He's a terrible TV anchor, and he should not have this position in this platform in order to share his very offensive perspectives. But again, we will see. He will not lose his job because there is a clear double standard between those on the left and those on the right. And if he worked for any other news organization other than CNN, he would not have his job this far.
And are we going to hear Don Lemon say that about Hillary Clinton?
Really good point.
Is that comment that's coming out of his mouth about Hillary Clinton?
That's a really good point. And then, yes, you would see her respond real quick, or it wouldn't even come to mind. And I can say, I think we might agree, Don Lemon is past his prime, considering he no longer has his primetime show. That wasn't very nice, but I had to go there. All right, I want to get your thoughts on this as well. New York City council members complaining they are facing backlash for supporting Drag Story Hour, a city-funded program where transgender adults read books and perform for little kids. One of the drag performers, all over her face, oh yeah, that's cute, bemoaned the fact that some local residents call her a groomer, while the local politicians say opposing drag shows for children is an assault on the LGBTQ community. Your reaction to that, Kira? It seems like an assault on a few other things.
No, they're complaining that some people have a problem with drag queens showing up at the library to tell stories to kids. Yeah, people are complaining because drag queens are adult entertainment. They're based on the concept of lampooning female sexuality. It's an art form in and of itself. Maybe you like it as an adult, and that's fine, but it was never meant to be for children. It is based on the concept of over-sexualizing the female form. There's no place for drag queens in front of kids and telling stories. If you want kids to hear about imaginative people, bring in a Disney princess or something. The idea that you as a parent are wrong for wanting someone who is really the costumed equivalent of a stripper telling stories to your kids, please get out of here with that mess. I'm not putting up with this pushback anymore. It is right to be angry about these types of performers performing for children. It is not children's entertainment.
Right. Yeah, Caroline, we're looking at some of those pictures of Oliver, her face, even the name offensive and not appropriate for children. I think we all agree we have nothing wrong with drag queens, but we have a problem with it when they are, let's go there. Let's use the word grooming our children, because what else is it?
Right. Where are the public officials speaking out against this? Where are the parents in New York City who are saying,
Right.
no, we're not going to expose our children to this? Think about the innocent children in your lives. I think about my 2 nephews. I was with one of them this morning. He's a baby. I would never expose him to this crap. And I'm sure most Americans, regardless of political ideology, feel the same. It's just common sense. But too many are afraid of their white guilt and their white privilege and their heterosexuality privilege that they're so afraid of offending people that we are failing to stand up for common sense and what's right versus what's wrong. And enough is enough.
All right, Karoline Leavitt, Kira Davis joining us for something fun that we like to call The Other View. Always fun. Appreciate your being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.